Hi, I'm Greg Hunter, and this is the weekly news wrap-up for January 13th. Yes, that's right, Friday the 13th, 2012. Well, Mitt Romney has opened up a king-size lead in a new nationwide Gallup poll. He's up by as much as 20 points to his other rivals in the second tier in a pretty tight group. You've got Gingrich, Santorum, and Ron Paul. Now, listen, Ron Paul, in my opinion, is about the only guy with the organization because he's on every ballot, and the other guys are not on every ballot, Santorum and Gingrich, like, for example, Virginia. And he also has the money to hang in there throughout the primary season, like, all the way into maybe June or July. Who knows? But he has said that he does not have any interest in being a third-party candidate. And maybe he's telling the truth on that one. But that doesn't mean he can't change his mind. And, he may end up getting the nomination for president. I mean, you gut this out state by state, not on one nationwide poll. And, of course, South Carolina is going to prove to be a real cage fight, and people can always make mistakes. Anybody, even Ron Paul, can make a mistake. So, but wouldn't it be interesting if Ron Paul decided to, I think I will run that third-party candidacy after all. I mean, he's 76 years old. He loves this country and believes in it. And you think he's just going to, oh, well, I didn't make it. And here's my thinking on this. Can Ron Paul take votes away from Republicans who think Romney is not conservative enough? Yes. Can Ron Paul take a big swipe of the 40% of people who call themselves independents? Yes. Can Ron Paul take votes away from liberal Democrats who are upset about the signing of the indefinite detention bill, and also, the president saying things like, Wall Street didn't do anything illegal on 60 Minutes? Yes. Yes, he could. And this is why both parties are really fearful of him. Liberal Democrats aren't going to vote for Mitt Romney, and hardcore Republicans aren't going to vote for Barack Obama. They may vote for Paul. That's why Ron Paul is dangerous. I'm going to be talking about this, unless something blows up, on Monday on USAWatchdog.com with a new article. Next up, and this is why I say if something blows up, the U.S. Navy now has another carrier battle group in the Arabian Sea and another one on the way. Of course, the Pentagon says that this has nothing to do with the tensions between the West and the U.S. and Iran. Well, a friend of mine said that, we ought to just go ahead and, and bomb Iran because we can't let them get a nuclear weapon. And I say, hold on a minute. Listen, this isn't going to be like attacking, Iraq or Libya through our surrogates over there. This is a country that has some major allies in China and Russia. And incidentally, China and Russia have provided Iran with some pretty wicked ship-destroying missiles. The Russians have supplied them with, the Sunburn and the Onyx, and China has also supplied some wicked missiles that could possibly take out an aircraft carrier. Won't be easy if we end up attacking Iran. Will not be easy, not whatsoever. Also, you heard about the Iranian nuclear scientist that was assassinated with a car bomb. Now, Israel has not officially taken credit for that. However, it's been reported that the Israelis have hinted at taking credit for that, and the Iranians are hopping mad. There's one big Iranian newspaper over there that is calling for revenge and retaliation, and boy, don't we live in interesting times. To top it all off, you heard about the video where the Marines were videotaped urinating on the corpses of Taliban fighters in Afghanistan? Oh, is this another Abu Ghraib moment? It's a boneheaded thing to do that. It's even a bigger boneheaded thing to be videotaped doing that. I mean, this makes the U.S. military job much harder, and for the people over in the Middle East, much more dangerous. It's ironic that, the Marines aren't in trouble for blowing these guys away, but they are in trouble for urinating on them, and, boy, it just smacks of an Abu Ghraib moment. This hurts the prestige of the United States and is really difficult for our Defense Secretary, Leon Panetta. How would you like to be him this week? Well, let's see. I'm juggling, ships in the Persian Gulf and the Arabian Sea and Syria. Oh, and what? There's a video? Boy. Let's move on to the ECB. It's been pretty quiet over there, and they're talking about, trying to fix this sovereign debt mess, which is really a solvency crisis for the banks. The U.S. has been in dollar swaps, providing them dollars over there to keep the banks from going under. Now it's been reported that they could back as much as 30% of the bonds they're trying to sell. I mean, Greek bonds are, 50 cents on the dollar, and they're going to be up to 30%, which tells me the crisis is not getting better. They're putting more money. It's getting worse. And famous investor Jim Rogers came out and had the most succinct appraisal of what's going on in Europe. And he says, they're going to print some money for a while. They're going to do a few things that make us feel good. That includes the United States. And he says, but, come the fall, the charade's going to be over. And according to Jim Rogers, who said, come the fall of 2012, quote, I'd be very worried. The math of it looks terrible. Forget about the Mayan calendar. The math of this situation, the trillions and trillions of dollars of debt and nothing to do with it, and they're trying to cure a debt problem with, more debt and bond backing and loaning money, and it's a giant-sized mess. Finally, and this may be the reason why China was reported to had another record month of adding to its gold reserves, importing gold at record amounts this month. You wonder why they're doing that? I mean, you have, a lot of currency creation. You have the ECB that's probably going to print a lot of money. You got the Federal Reserve that has and probably will print a lot more money to keep their banks afloat. I mean, that's what we're really talking about. We're talking about the Western banking world being kept afloat. Well, I'll tell you, this is going to be death to the dollar, and a new guest writer of mine, Jim Willey, Ph.D. in statistics. He is on the site, actually just below this post. He wrote a stellar post about how vulnerable the U.S. dollar is. Please take time to read it. It's long, but it is good. Well, that's the way I see it. I'm Greg Hunter. Thank you for supporting USAWatchdog.com.